A 27-year-old woman, this woman right there, she was charged in the shooting death of her fetus, although police admit she was not the person who fired the shot. All right, her name is Marshae Jones, and she's from Birmingham. She was 5 months pregnant at the time, on December 4th specifically, when an argument broke out between her and another woman outside a Dollar General. Now, this was reported by AL.com, an Alabama publication you probably know of far too well by now. The fight, which police said, all right, was over the fetus's father. It led to 23-year-old Ebony Jamison to shoot Jones in the stomach. Now, the mother did survive the shooting, but it resulted in a miscarriage. And excuse me there, I probably should have said the pregnant woman survived the shooting, but it resulted in a miscarriage. And so you're probably asking what happened to the shooter, the person who fired the gun. Well, the shooter was charged with manslaughter, but a grand jury did not indict her. Instead, at the time, police alleged Jones started the argument and Jamison shot Jones in self-defense. Pleasant Grove Police Lieutenant Danny Reid told AL.com a grand jury would consider charges for the mother as well at that time. So they did not get the indictment for the shooter and decided to go after the mother, the pregnant woman. Instead, so Wednesday, a grand jury did indeed indict Jones on a manslaughter charge. She was being held Thursday on, I think it was a $50,000 bond at Jefferson County Jail in the area. And it's at this point not clear whether she has an attorney. Now, the lieutenant says, he went on to say, it was the mother of the child who initiated and continued the fight, which resulted in the death of her own unborn baby. So essentially saying she started an argument and then got shot. And so it's her fault that she got shot because she started an argument. Let me tell you what Amanda Reyes said. This is the executive director of the Yellow Hammer Fund, and that's part of a nationwide umbrella advocacy group, an abortion rights advocacy group. Saying the state of Alabama has proven yet again that the moment a person becomes pregnant, their sole responsibility is to produce a live, healthy baby, and that it considers any action a pregnant person takes that might impede in that live birth to be a criminal act. Continuing with, tomorrow it will be another black woman, maybe for having a drink while pregnant, and after that, another for not obtaining adequate prenatal care.
When I see stuff like this, I feel like it's the perfect storm for conservative zealots to go, oh, it's both someone with a gun using it, and I get to belittle women essentially. And it also signals to me just how hard and on how many fronts the other side is fighting. So you have to fight just as hard and definitely harder because they are going so invasively they found this story, they found it. And they said, listen, I wanna go all in on not just, everyone else would just recognize it's a terrible, horrible tragedy that befell people and leave it at that. She's been through a lot as a result of this. But the conservatives in Alabama just basically said, this is my opportunity to further make her life miserable and to forward this political agenda, which explicitly is intended to take rights away from women.
Absolutely, and I wanna put this in comparison to something, felony murder laws, which are stupid oftentimes. But you are reasonably supposed to expect that if you and a bunch of people have guns and you break in somebody's home to rob them, that someone may get shot and killed. And I can understand that. You are not supposed to expect that when you start an argument with someone that they will shoot you.
Yeah.
That is not okay to put on her.
No, it's not okay to put on her. Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I see the attempt at logic that they have, but when it gets to a situation like this, instead of indicting her for manslaughter in this event, you should take a second, step back and say, oh my God, I've lost all touch with reality.
Right.
Because that's what I see when I look at something like this. This is someone who got in an argument in a Dollar General, got shot, and lost her pregnancy. And as a result, she's been indicted for manslaughter.
And the person who shot her is free.
And that's it. And they just go to every extent to protect what they say are gun rights. No, it's not. And what they say is this crusade against, killing babies, which it's proven it's not. And that's already enshrined in the law, which accounts for the science you purport to advocate for. It is so insanely infuriating.
Right. And given their argument that this woman was having a baby, then they don't care about her grieving process. It's just, you started an argument, you deserve to get shot because you argued with somebody, which is essentially what they're saying. And the grand jury decided that that woman had the right to shoot somebody that made her mad.
Yep. And we'll see. I mean, everyone needs to stay glued to this story as more facts develop throughout.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.